Master Damien Lemos for onlinechesslessons.net, and today I'm gonna analyze a game between Grandmasters Carlsen and Grischuk from the Candidates tournament. So let's get started. Carlsen plays e4, Grischuk plays e5, knight to f3, knight c6, and bishop b5. As you know, this is the Spanish game. And black plays knight to f6. The other very popular move here is a6, and here white usually plays bishop a4, which is the main line of the Spanish game, or he can also play bishop takes knight, and this would be the exchange variation. So here, after bishop b5, knight f6, here white plays d3, which is a very solid variation. Here white wants to just castle and play c3, just like he plays in the main line of the Spanish game with this setup. But when he plays d3 first, this is interesting because if he castles, then we also have to be aware that, you know, black has a lot of lines involving a knight takes e4, and when he takes a center pawn like this, he's got more chances of equalizing. So I like d3. I mean, we keep more pieces on board. So black plays the bishop to c5, and well, here looks like he's giving the e5 pawn away, but as you can see, we cannot take it yet. I mean, if we play bishop takes c6, he can just retake, let's say, d takes, and if we play this one, he can just play queen d4, which is attacking the knight and the pawn on f2. And this would be, yeah, of course, he's mating us, or we are losing the knight, so yeah, this is not a good option for white. And here white plays a c3. I guess he can also castle here. Maybe white, you know, he wanted to stop something like knight d4, which is trading off some pieces. I mean, this is the only difference I see between castling and playing c3 right here. And of course, c3 is a move we always have to play in this setup. First of all, we want to play d4 one day, and our bishop has a way back home in case we need it. So here black castles, and again, looks like we can win a pawn here, although this is not that easy, you know, because after this, if we take the pawn, black is gonna have a very powerful initiative in the center, and since we are lacking the bishop pair and we are lacking development too, this is, you know, very risky for us. So there's no need of playing this, especially without development and, you know, offering the bishop pair too. So white castles following the opening rules. I mean, we should castle first, and black defends the e5 pawn by playing d6. White plays h3. Again, this move is always useful for us to stop this kind of pins, or, you know, moves like knight g4. And in the future, if we play like this, the h3 move is also helping. You know, there are some lines where white can play something like knight to h2, queen f3, and knight g4. But this idea I know from the main line of the Spanish game. With the bishop on c5, it's a bit different. And I like h3 because we are stopping this kind of moves also. So after h3, black plays a6, And here white takes on c6, and this is a big decision because usually white keeps his bishop, and when he takes, we are destroying his pawn structure. I mean, now he's got double pawns, although black has the bishop pair too, so he'll have some counterplay here. Here white plays rook e1. Feels like if we have a better pawn structure, we should trade some pieces because then the endgame it's better for us. So rook e1, I think it's a useful move. Rook e8 should be useful also. I mean, now d4 is not gonna be easy for us because the e4 pawn is gonna be under attack. So white prefers playing knight b to d2. Again, I think white should take it easy here. I mean, finishing his development, playing with the better pawn structure, trading off some pieces. We have a solid advantage. And here black, as he has the bishop pair, decides to open up that position by playing d5. You know, I think on one hand it makes a lot of sense because if you have the bishops, you're supposed to open that position like this. But on the other hand, the resulting pawn structure is gonna be quite weak. I guess if white defends well, you know, any endgame, it's gonna be quite bad for black. So I think white is correct when he takes on d5 because black will have to take back with the queen. If he takes back with the pawn, I guess we can just take on e5 because I don't see any tactic here for black. And by the way, instead of playing d5, maybe as black, I would probably play a5 just to win some space at queenside. And my bishop, it's like I still don't know which diagonal it's better, but now I have the chance of playing bishop a6 too. Here it's like I only have these two squares. After playing a5, I have more chances. So black plays d5, white takes, queen takes, and the simple knight b3. Not only attacking the bishop but defending the d3 pawn too. And black moves his bishop to f8. I guess, yeah, he has to move the bishop somewhere because otherwise we'll keep trading pieces, and with this pawn structure, trading pieces is not a good idea for black. If he moves the bishop here or here, trying to attack our king, we can just play bishop e3, I guess, and then we are still trading off some pieces. That is why I guess he played bishop f8. It's not easy to trade this bishop off from, you know, f8. So white plays c4, attacking the queen. And as you know, if we have this bishop, it's a nice idea to place our pawns on light squares, so then our bishop, it's a good bishop. If we had our pawns, imagine all our pawns are on dark squares, then this bishop c1 would be a very bad bishop, what we call a tall pawn, because it's crashing into our pawn structure. But if we play c4 here, we are placing our pawns on light squares. Black has to play queen d6, because if he plays anything else, then we can just take the e5 pawn. I mean, the queen has to defend the e5 pawn. Bishop to e3. Very simple development move. And now the c5 square becomes available for our knight or our bishop too. So that is why black plays knight to d7, because here he's controlling the c5 square, and white plays d4. By playing this, we want to trade off more pieces. As we said, if we trade too many pieces here, the endgame is much better for us, because his pawn structure at queenside is not great. And these pawns, c7, c6, a6, can only be protected by pieces. I mean, imagine we have the endgame with kings only. I mean, then black's king, it's the only one who can defend c6, c7, a6, and that is not good. So that is why black plays e4, because he doesn't want to trade. I mean, he wants to play a middle game with tactics, not an endgame. So here we play knight d2, basically attacking e4 in a way, and in the future maybe we'll have the chance of playing c5 plus knight c4, and we keep winning space at queenside. And okay, he plays a5. f5 looks interesting also, although I think we can play same way as white played in the game. As you see, a5 and a4, they make sense too. I mean, by playing a4 we stop any counterplay based on a4 by black. So here f5, c5. This move of course is preparing knight c4, but yeah, our bishop doesn't look great after c5. But anyway, I like this move, because when we play knight c4, then the a5 pawn is gonna be quite weak. In fact, I don't see any way black can defend this pawn, so I think this is more important than the bishop. And as you can see, the bishop can improve on this diagonal. So here black plays queen c6, and I feel here maybe black could have played, something like queen e6, because then he's stopping knight c4. I guess here, well, we can just play rook c1, because then knight c4 it's coming, and if he plays bishop a6 stopping knight c4 again, well, I guess we can just take this pawn on a5, and then we have such a great game. I mean, pass pawn at queenside, we can support this knight by playing b4. The only thing I would be worried about here as white, it's maybe, black will have some counterplay at kingside, and as you'll see in this game, black started some attack there, so that is why I think black played queen c6 immediately, because he knew knight c4 was coming anyway, and the queen is much more active on c6 than e6. But here white plays knight c4 anyway. There's no reason not to take this pawn, and if we have a good defense here, we can win. Black plays knight to f6, and this is a nice in-between move, playing bishop f4. Basically we want to close this diagonal, because if we play something like knight takes a5, we have to be careful with this kind of moves, attacking the bishop and attacking the pawn on h3 also, right? So if we play this in-between move first, basically we can take this pawn in the future, but we are blockading the f5 pawn. We could have played this too, knight e5, which looks like we are like winning the queen or trading the queen, but I feel this line is not clear. Black will have some decent counterplay again, and we don't need to win material here, since his position at queenside it's worse, so if we play solid chess, positional chess, we can win too without taking too many risks. Knight d5 makes sense. He's attacking the bishop on f4 and defending the pawn on c7. Queen d2. Again, we want to blockade this f5 pawn. That is why white is not playing bishop h2, because then f4 is coming. So queen d2, bishop to e6, and knight takes a5. Well, here we are winning a pawn, and we can see that black didn't get any counterplay at kingside yet. So, I mean, we are being successful. He plays rook b8. Black's play here reminds me of a Benko gambit, where he tries to get some initiative at queenside. But after knight e5, problem is c6 it's also falling, and unless black gets a strong counterplay now, we'll just be 2 pawns up, and this is too much, right? Queen f6, bishop to h2. Well, very interesting defense, getting away of all kind of threats. Like, you know, imagine it's black's turn here. Maybe in some lines he can consider playing rook takes a5 or knight takes f4 first, because our queen is kind of overloaded. I mean, I don't think this is possible because we have a lot of in-between moves too. But just in case, it's good, you know, to play it the safe way. So, you know, black is losing anyway because there's no way he can stop knight takes c6. And that is why he plays rook takes a5. He wants to create some counterplay. If he plays anything else, it's like he's losing slowly here. So rook takes a5, queen takes, and rook takes b2. So here we have a pass pawn at queenside, and we have this change. So again, if we play it well, we should be winning. And one of the things we have to do when we have more material is trading. But here, when we are facing some kind of attack, it's a good idea to trade off the attackers, like rook b2. So that is why white plays rook b1. Of course, black is not trading, and he plays rook a2. And here comes queen a6. And, well, when I first tried to understand this move, I was looking at moves like rook b8, which is very aggressive, and it's probably winning. But then I realized that he can play e3, and after this, something like this. Of course, if you check this with that computer, I think white should still be winning somehow. But I don't think we should give black this kind of counterplay. When we play queen a6, which is what Carlsen played, in a lot of lines we'll have the chance of playing queen f1, and then the queen is helping our king. So I mean, we have a safe position there. I mean, worst scenario, we'll have queen f1 and then we are safe. But as you can see, with the queen on a6, we don't have to play queen f1 since the queen is supporting the e2 square. And we are also trading off rooks. As you can see, this is a matter of technique. And here we'll have to be extremely careful. We cannot take the knight yet because he's mating us on g2. So we don't want to trade. We don't want to take on e3. We want to trade off pieces. And here, basically, after rook b2, he has to lose another tempo, and we are winning here. As you can see, after this great defense, we are stopping all threats. Our knight is under a pin, but the rook is defending g2 well, so Here, if he plays this one, we can just play queen takes e3, and it's over. We have a pass pawn plus this change and a good defense. So f4, bishop takes, knight c2, queen here. Everything is protected again. This knight doesn't have many squares. So here, yeah, the best move till the end. Rook takes c2. White could have taken here too, but then knight takes d4, and in some lines maybe bishop takes c5, so rook takes c2, it's better. After this, as we said before, we have a pass pawn here plus this change. This should be winning. So here black resigns. So we saw a very nice game, nice performance by Carlsen. I think maybe black can try improving before playing d5, because as we saw in this game, this was, from the positional point of view, very risky. White played c5, knight c4, he took the pawn on a5, and after this he defended really well and got a winning advantage. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see you in next videos.